My best friend sat beside me in a baseball game and literally didn't recognize me. I'd wave to friends at the mall and they wouldn't wave back. I was completely changed on the outside. Maybe even pretty if you tilted your head and squinted a little. But the die had already been cast in my soul. I knew that I would never be beautiful. I know that you remember the story of Cinderella. If you have little girls, you probably have the same books and dolls and videos that we have. Every time I read this fairy tale to one of my children, my heart skips ahead, anticipating the ball at the palace. Do you recall that evening? The evil stepsisters and their mother are there, along with all the other available bachelorettes in the kingdom. Prince Charming is becoming discouraged because he has met every bride wannabe, but no one has captured his heart. Thankfully, there is a fairy godmother, a little bibbidi-bobbidi-boo, and then Cinderella finally arrives. She is breathtaking, and the entire room is captivated by her beauty. Prince Charming is eternally smitten. There is a night of dancing, a quick goodbye, a shoe that fits, and a happily ever after. Now tell me, when you think of yourself in this story, which character do you allow yourself to become? Where are you standing at the ball? I would love it if you thought of yourself as Cinderella. I have tried on those slippers, but have never been able to bring myself to believe that I should be dancing in her shoes. I've never thought of myself as a stepsister or the evil stepmother either. Somehow I've always seen myself as one of the faceless in the crowd. One of the girls from the kingdom who gave it her best shot, spent days optimistically preparing for the ball, splurged on the dress and the hair, and anxiously arrived with butterflies in her stomach, only to stand around with the other hopefuls, make small talk, smile politely, groove to the music, and remain unnoticed. I have a friend who said to me, "Angela, I think that's a bunch of bull. I can't believe you could really feel like that." Actually, it would be bull to tell you differently. I want to be Cinderella. I want to be the most beautiful woman at the ball, but I've never been bold enough to think of myself as her. Maybe the lessons of junior high linger. Maybe I've been conditioned by my environment. Maybe I'm just a coward. Whichever it is, when you grow up longing to be beautiful but knowing that you are not, it feels as if there could never be a glass slipper that would fit. Most of us took different paths but arrived at the same conclusion. Cinderella, she is always someone else. But there is a little girl inside of me who secretly aches for a fairy godmother to magically bumble her way into my life, wave her wand, and make me into the princess I have always longed to be. Make me beautiful, make me captivating, make someone notice. But life is not a fairy tale. Magic wands are only for pretending. Cinderella shoes are mass-produced by the millions for the tiny feet of little girls who still believe Prince Charming will ask them to dance. Grown-up women wear sensible shoes, put their ball gowns in storage, and teach themselves to believe that being asked to dance isn't all that important anyway. Sensible women like you and me survey life and figure out how to make the journey with the least possible heartache. We insulate ourselves for maximum protection in the event of a fall. We isolate ourselves from risk to guard against failure, and above everything, we bind up the precious gifts of longing and desire and banish them to a faraway land. We've stopped dressing up or anticipating the ball, deciding it's better to stay home than to hope again and be disappointed. Maybe it's because I'm now staring at 40 years. Maybe it's because my life with a bow on it came undone. Maybe it's because wisdom leaned in and yelled, "Would you listen to your heart? Stop pretending and ask the questions." I don't know exactly. I just know that somehow the Spirit of God has awakened the Spirit in me. I am realizing that at least half of my life has passed, and I've spent most of it trying to deny the way God made me. Afraid to be strong for fear of being prideful. Afraid not to please for fear of being rejected. Afraid to ask the questions from my soul for fear they'd never find answers. So afraid that one wrong step would ruin everything. Afraid to say out loud what my heart longs for. Afraid that longings are sin and God wouldn't understand. Afraid to admit that I am a woman who longs to be desired, longs to be rescued, and longs to be called beautiful. And so I have spent way too many years standing around the edge of my life, trying to convince myself that I do not want to be Cinderella. Pretending that I really didn't come to dance, I have concocted a few lies to make life hurt less and then forced myself to live them. Besides, glass slippers probably pinch your toes anyway. I don't think this is just my story. I truly believe that the longing to be known as beautiful is part of our design as women.